Everyone on YouTube talks about rotations. They show you the phases map, the dominance charts. But here's the thing, no one actually shows you how to rotate. I'm talking about how much to move, what to sell, what to buy, the actual numbers and strategy. Everyone just talks theory. So today I'm breaking that cycle. We're covering things Lady of Crypto has never gone over on this channel, answering the questions you've been asking. And we're going to be breaking rotation signs down into an easy and beginner-friendly strategy, step by step. This is the real playbook I use to manage my own capital. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name's Nick. I've been in crypto since 2017 and in the trading industry for 23 years. You've probably heard of me mentioned on this channel. LOC calls me her mentor. So today, allow me to mentor you on exactly how to rotate like a professional. If that sounds good, smash that like button and let's crack into it. This video is for informational purposes only. Crypto assets are high risk and not suitable for retail investors. This video is not intended for a UK audience and nothing I talk about should be construed as financial advice. Seriously. Okay, so to break down exactly how to rotate, we need a portfolio to work with. So I'm going to use my current portfolio. Technically, it's a slightly modified version. That's better for this example, but it's close. I run what's called a barbell portfolio. This is a style of portfolio management where you split your capital between two extremes, very low risk on one end and very high risk on the other end, no middle ground. That means no mid caps. The low risk part is usually 80 to 90% of your portfolio. The high risk part is 10 to 20%. So here's the portfolio we're working with today. BTC 25%, ETH 25, SUI 15, XRP 10, and SOL 5. That's the starting portfolio. Now I'm going to show you how this portfolio evolves and changes throughout the rotation. Right now, 80% of my capital is in what I consider the safer side of the barbell for crypto. And that's large caps, plays over $10 billion market cap. The other 20%, that's my high risk asymmetric bets bag. Low caps, degen shit. That part is completely unimportant for what we're talking about today because we're focused on the left side of the barbell, the 80% that's in large caps right now. Why is it in large caps? Because alt season hasn't really started yet. I know that's a controversial statement. A lot of you are probably screaming at the screen, Nick, what are you talking about? My bags are pumping. Of course, alt season has started. Look, let me show you a little trick I use to track when alt season actually begins. This is something Lady of Crypto hasn't shown you yet. So in TradingView, you can create custom charts. And I created a custom chart called total free ES divided by ETH or /ETH. Total free ES is the total market cap of crypto minus Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all stable coins. So it's basically a pure altcoin index. When you divide that by ETH, you get a clean signal of altcoin strength versus Ethereum. So when this chart is rising, it means that alts on average are outperforming ETH. When this chart is falling, it means that ETH is kicking the ass of the broader altcoin market. And right now, it's absolutely tanking. This chart tells us one undeniable thing. Alt season has not started. In a real alt season, altcoins outpace ETH. Just like we saw here in 2021 when this chart bottomed and then went absolutely vertical. Yes, some alts are pumping right now against ETH. A few narratives are hot, but on average, as a whole, alts are losing ground to Ethereum, and that is a fact. So the big question, when do we actually rotate? When do we pull the trigger and move capital down the risk curve? Simple, we wait for signals. Now, you already know the whole Bitcoin dominance thing LOC goes on about, and that's very good stuff, but we're not going to go over it again today. I want to talk about an additional signal, total free ES ETH. Now, I watch for this to bottom and turn just like it did last cycle, or at the very least, for this insane downwards move it's happening to stall and go sideways. Because when that happens, and Bitcoin dominance is trending down under 60%, like LOC talks about, that is our first strong signal. Now, I'm going to pull up this phases map, but don't worry, I'm not going to talk about it for ages. I'm just pointing out that this combination of signals is a pretty clean indicator that we're moving from phase 2 to phase 3. It's our first clear rotation trigger. But a signal is useless if you don't know how to execute. So let's talk about exactly how we rotate. To do this, I think about the market in tiers. It's a simple mental model to manage risk and capital flow. So tier 1 is the foundation. This is BTC and Ethereum, the kings, the blue chips, the base layer of the entire market. Tier 2 is the majors, generally anything in the top 20 with over a $10 billion market cap. This is what my current portfolio holds, SUI, XRP, SOL, those are just examples. Tier 3 is the mid caps. These are the strong narrative plays, usually sitting between the top 20 and the top 75. Think Tau, Ondo, Casper. These are usually between $1 billion and $10 billion market cap. And don't get offended, Casper guys. Tier 3 is based on market cap. It doesn't mean that Casper is a tier 3 project in terms of tech. Tier 4 and below, that's the small cap degen plays. This is anything below $1 billion market cap and generally outside of the top 75. The goal is to rotate from the high tiers down to the lower tiers as we progress through the path of alt season. These tiers line up perfectly with market phases. So in phase 1, you want to be heavy in tier 1. In phase 2, you start accumulating tier 2. In phase 3, you start rotating into tier 3, and so on. Now let's talk the actual numbers.